That was not a good idea.
Oh my god, it's literally like in the cup holder.
It's literally in, oh my god. What a way to start a video. What a way. So this has been an absolute chaos. We've moved, the tea is fine, the bed is fine, the MacBook's fine. The MacBook. That's the main thing that we care about. Hello everybody, my name is Riley and welcome back to my channel. If you are new around here, hello, I am a first year sixth form student taking English literature, law and sociology. In this week's video, I would like to share with you my top 5 productivity tips. Since the new year, I have been trying my hardest to kind of stay on top of my work, to stay disciplined, stay motivated, to kind of just like try and get as much done as I can, because I was slipping a bit towards the end of last term. Things got really busy, I missed a couple of assignments, and obviously we don't want that. So I've been trying really hard to just like work on my productivity skills, and I think I have a few tips that I can share with you. So grab a piece of paper, grab a pen, you know, grab a snack, grab a drink, because I'm just going to be talking at you. But this video is kind of designed for you to take in these tips and try to incorporate them in your own lives. So definitely take notes, as I said, and also just like try and take in as much as you can. Try these out and let me know how you find them. As I say, just take these tips, try them in your life, and if they work for you, great, you're a productivity master now. And if they don't, then you can kind of like try out some other skills that you might have found. But yeah, let's just go ahead and get started. So my first tip is to get rid of your phone. Phones are great, aren't they? You know, we can message our relatives or our friends that live in other countries. Everything is just there at our fingertips. So easy to find. You know, there's so much that we can do. Social media, you know, we can watch our favorite content creators, as I'm sure you're doing right now. That was cringy. Phones are great, but when it comes to studying, phones are the enemy. Your phone is your biggest distraction, which is why whenever I'm studying, I make sure that my phone is away from me and that I do the following to make sure that I'm not going to get distracted by my phone. How I make sure that I don't use my phone when I'm studying is I mainly use the app called Flora. Now, this app is great because you go into it, you set a timer, you say what you're going to do, and you just start the timer. And what it does is it blocks your phone from being able to be used. So if I try to access my phone, then the plant that I grew by starting that timer dies. And obviously we don't want a dead plant, like we want to grow plants. And so this kind of is like a bit of a motivating factor, so that if you use your phone, your plant dies, and you don't want that, so you're not going to touch your phone, so you don't really have a choice but to get on with work. I absolutely love it because you can grow these plants, but you also kind of travel across the world. So I think I'm currently in Germany, but I've been to a few different places around the world. I think Germany is stop 7. You know, I've grown a blueberry, an avocado, agave. Another idea that a couple of my friends use is Study Bunny. Study Bunny I have tried in the past, and I think it's a really cute app, and I think it could be really useful for the right people. You have a bunny, and your bunny is your study bunny, study buddy, study bunny. You get it. And you can kind of like collect items. You earn coins, and you use those coins to buy things for your bunny. You give your bunny a name. It's really cute. But the number one reason why I don't use it is because it doesn't block your phone, and ultimately that's the whole reason that I need a timer. Having a timer often puts a bit of pressure on you for doing your work, but I think that it's so easy to just like slip up and just forget about the timer. And so I need to have an app that's going to block my phone so that I can't use it. It is sweltering in this room. My dad actually came in here earlier and said that it was really cold, so unfortunately the Oxford University hoodie has got to go. In addition to using an app to help you focus, I don't know if they have these on other phones. Let me know if they do. Have a little bit of an exploration. And if they don't, you can just use Do Not Disturb, because Do Not Disturb is just great. But I have really grown to like using the focus mode since I got my iPhone. So I have a work focus mode set up where everything is blocked other than my school apps, but everything else, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, YouTube, they're all blocked so that you're not going to get distracted by your phone. phone, but you can still see the notifications. It's just under a little tab, so you don't get like the actual notification, but you can still see them in the inbox, if that makes sense. And so that's really cool because like you can go and look at them after you've done your work, and it feels more rewarding than just like looking at them while you're midway through your work, because that's just distracting and that just makes everybody feel bad. Also, I always put my phone away from me, so if I am at school, I'll put my phone into my bag. I usually put it in my water bottle holder because my water bottle is at my desk with me. This way it's kind of like outside, out of mind. If I'm at home, I put it over here behind me, kind of like behind my TV, but like I'm not tempted to use it because it's outside, so I don't think about it. I just think that when it comes to mastering your productivity, the first thing that you need to start with is eliminating distractions, and quite often our phones are our biggest distractions. Okay, so my second tip is all to do with to-do lists. To-do lists are a great factor for having a look and seeing what you need to get done. And I think that when used correctly, to-do lists can help you be so much more productive. So I use my planner to make all of my to-do lists. So this is the Daily Planner 2024 to 2025 from the Positive Teacher Company. Yes, I bought my planner from a teacher company. I do not care. It said it was designed for students. I really like the daily outline. Let me just show you a blank one. As you can see, I have the space for a to-do list, I have the space to put my timetable, and then I have a space for like event and the little week term tracker. It just makes me feel so professional because I want to go into teaching one day, and you know, I've always loved just like looking professional with like planners or carrying my laptop around in a funky way, and so this is just kind of like a reminder of my dreams. Having a to-do list is super great because you can see the tasks you need to get done, you're not going to get distracted, and it puts a bit of pressure on yourself. Like when you write it down, I feel like that makes it feel like you're actually going to do it, so you're going to do anything in your power to make sure that you get it done. I do also sometimes use digital planning, so I have Notion. I actually have it up right now for the notes for this video on my MacBook. I just have quite a few different pages, but I mainly use this front one where I separate my to-do list into the different areas of my life. It's really easy to make to-do lists, and I just really like how the Notion interface looks. It can be a bit complicated to understand at first, but to basically make a to-do list, all you need to do is press /to-do, or if you're on a mobile device, there'll be a little plus and you just need to press to-do and you'll instantly have a checkbox. You can look up other tutorials if you want to learn how to make your Notion fancy, but you can also get Notion templates, and I'm planning to make a Notion video at some point in the future, so you should be able to find a template from me if you want to stick around until then. But just have a little Google. I think Notion has a whole website like dedicated to templates, so find one that works for you. So the reason why to-do lists work so well is because as you tick things off, getting a little boost of motivation. When you finish a task and you haven't had a to-do list, you may feel that kind of like sense of joy, but it's not going to be the same as the reward of ticking it off or clicking it off or whatever it may be. It's also really fun to like see how far you've come. So after a really long day of studying, you're quite tired, you know, and you look at your to-do list and you think, oh my goodness, I've accomplished so much today. I have a quick little tip for you. At the top of all of your to-do lists, write make a to-do list, so that when you've made your to-do list, you instantly tick something off and you get that little boost straight away, so that you're more likely to want to get more tasks done. But don't add too many tasks, because too many tasks, I feel like it overwhelms us. So you have to be really strict with yourself and kind of like prioritize the tasks that need to get done today, and kind of like push the ones that don't need to be done or can be done at a later date off to the side, because those are irrelevant. My third tip is to do with music, and I think that music can be a really useful tool to help you with your productivity when it's used correctly. In general, what works for me is that if it doesn't have lyrics, it's not going to be distracting. They're just kind of chill beats that I put on in the background. I put my headphones on, I knuckle down, I get on with my work. But I do have friends who can listen to music with lyrics in them as they study, and that helps them. So honestly, it all comes down to personal preference, and you just need to try out a few things and see what works for you. So I make all my playlists using Spotify. I know not everyone uses Spotify, and I was quite shocked when I found that out. So I have one big lo-fi revision playlist, which I'm not really using at the moment, because when I sit down to study at the moment, I'm not really in the mood for lo-fi. Like, lo-fi is just too cozy for me at the minute. However, I do really like my little simple chilled out beats. I think the playlist is cool, and it's just really like vibey. So I just have my headphones on, I'm listening to my music, and I just feel good vibes whenever I listen to this playlist. It sounds weird, I know, and you may judge me for some of the songs that are on that playlist. If you're interested in checking out any of my playlists, I'll have my Spotify linked down below. I'll also list off the 2 playlists that I have just mentioned. But if you find that my playlists don't really work for you, have a look around. There's so many playlists out there on Spotify, so many public playlists, so many great ones as well. But have a go at making your own using some of the songs that you like and see what works for you. However, if you really don't like music, you don't have to use it. I'm just saying this as like a general thing that can really help my productivity, and I think it could help you as well if you don't like listening to music. Perhaps try white noise. White noise is really like relaxing, and I do sometimes, very rarely, use white noise to help me focus with my studies. I don't know what it is, something about it just puts you in such a deep focus flow state, and you're just more likely to get other stuff done. The main white noise playlist that I use is actually Spotify's 10-hour one, I think it is, and so I'll have that link down below. My 4th tip is to change up your location. While I think it's great to have one kind of base that you mainly prioritize using to help you focus, for instance, my desk, I do quite a bit of studying at my desk, to be honest. I have everything that I need. I have my pens, I have space for my MacBook, you know, I have my little lamp, I have a coaster and everything like that. I do think that it's good to change up your study location sometimes. So a good example of this is on Wednesday, I had a day of school where I had no lessons, but I still wanted to come in because I know that I focus better at school. So I started off my morning in the library. I was doing some work there. Then lesson 2, I changed over to another location. I moved to where the English classrooms are. Lesson 3, I moved to where the language classrooms are. And because I have that freedom in school, I really kind of like take hold of that. I try to use the different locations that I have, and I try to use the independence and the freedom that I have to kind of keep me focused. If I'm in the same location, staring at the same walls, you know, maybe even the same people around me and things like that, it gets a bit boring and a bit repetitive, and it's nice to just have a bit of variety in your life. If you're at home and you're a bit bored of your room, I just think that going to another location in the house, you know, go to the kitchen table. I have a conservatory, I sometimes do some work out there. If you aren't really able to do this, maybe your house is a bit too loud, maybe you just don't have the space or something like that, check out what libraries are near you. I know that there is one that's quite close to me that I've gone to a few times in the past. However, one thing to focus on is to make sure that you have a space that is clear. Keep the bare essentials with you, and no, that doesn't include your phone if we remember from tip number 1. So the things that I usually keep on my desk is I will usually have my laptop because I do quite a lot of studying on my laptop. I have my iPad because that's where I do all of my notes, planner because that's where my to-do list is, and then I always have my water bottle because staying hydrated is key for your focus. And so here's your reminder: sit up straight, go hydrate. I try to do this in as many of my videos as I remember, so okay, so my 5th and my final tip is a bit of a weird one, but just hear me out here. You have to be disciplined sometimes when it comes to school. It's really unhealthy in life to always rely on motivation, because motivation comes and goes, you know, it's not there all the time in your life. Not for anyone. Even if somebody appears motivated all of the time, deep down they're using discipline to just force themselves to get through things. And oftentimes I find that when you're more disciplined, motivation sort of comes as a result of that. So being disciplined can be really, really hard sometimes, but there are a few kind of tools that you can use to kind of help yourself get along with it. I think that going into a library is really good for being disciplined, because oftentimes you have people around you who are working, and I know that every time I see somebody who, you know, has their laptop out, they have their notebook out, they're writing away, they're not getting distracted by their phone, I'm like, wow, I want to be that person. So I kind of like take what they're doing and kind of apply it to what I'm doing, so that like I'm more disciplined in my life. If you follow all of the previous tips that I've mentioned, oftentimes you find that you will be more likely to be disciplined, and I really do think that just eliminating as many distractions as you can is really, really like useful for discipline. Perhaps one of the main things that has really helped me to be more disciplined is having an accountability buddy. So what I do sometimes is I will message my friend and I will just be like, hey, I'm planning to have a productive day, here's everything that I want to get done, I'll check in with you later to see how much I accomplished. And so I read off the things that I've done at the end of the day, and really motivating to kind of just get things done. I don't know, if you have the confidence to just go up to some random person in the library and be like, hey, you don't know who I am, but I want to get some work done. Here's what I want to do. You know, I'll check in with you when I'm done. I don't know, maybe have the confidence for that.